Mute. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gloria from Unity Violence and Incarceration Prevention. Tonight, we're going to be doing community conversations. I have my lovely co-host, Miss Queen Jasmine.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? Jasmine in the building.
Right. So we've been on this on the road. We have, we missed a couple days. We have our personal days where we're supposed to get on, but we're here. We're here on Sundays and Wednesdays. So we're for the most part we're consistent. So we miss I believe like 2 Sundays. We'll be back on Sunday is Easter. So if we're not with our families and we're home and we're chilling, I'll call Jasmine and see what's going on. But if we're with our families, that's a day to spend with your family and your friends and have a good time. But tonight's conversation is a little deep. We're gonna go into community traumatic responses. We're big on talking about trauma informed services and healing, but a lot of times we don't talk about how our communities are affected by the trauma. It could be our immediate communities, it could be our extended communities, but tonight's a little different. I was hoping to have a guest on tonight. But some people are still healing from their processes of what they went through, and depending on what stage they are of their healing process, they're not ready to talk. So let's go into that, Jazz.
Okay.
So I wanted just to talk about how different communities respond to trauma. So I wanted to talk about how different communities respond to trauma. So I wanted to talk about how different communities respond to trauma.
Marcus, what you got going on over there? Put your stuff on me.
What I do? Oh, my bad.
I'm like, why do I hear myself again? You and I coming from two different communities. How does your immediate community, which meaning your family, how did they respond to your traumatic experience?
Like I would say in the whole, like any traumatic experience, drinking.
Drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it happened, when that incident happened with you, I didn't see that part. It's kind of like your mom extended herself to where she needed help to understand what you were going through.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking more so like what they do usually. I think that it's the truth. Like, you know what I'm
It's
saying? I'm
true.
not saying it in the overindulgent or it can be overindulgent. It's just real. I think when you're facing something like that, a death or something that's traumatic that happens that you don't know and things like that, people do go to alcohol as a form of coping in that
Mhm.
moment to like digest, even though it doesn't help. But sometimes in that moment, it does what it does. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a
Mhm.
victim of that. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. So I know. But yeah, to be honest with you, I was in a coma, so I don't know what they did. I don't know really what their experience was. So all I can
Did they
say
ever
is like
talk to you
they
about
were
it?
there. Huh? I mean, they asked me questions, but like they asked me questions of like what happened here and there, maybe how you feeling. But as far as I just think that they were on the go, the most thing was okay, get me up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Move me away, get me into a different place. Um, things of that nature. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know because we never really had an in-depth conversation about it.
Mhm.
Just for, you know what I'm saying? So to be honest with you, we never really, I'm like, we have, like talks, but not like got in depth of like, dang, what y'all did. I just remember a conversation I had with my cousin. And I guess because I survived and we were talking about something some years ago. And he was like, yeah, something. And couldn't understand why he was angry. He was like, no, because we really thought it was over. I didn't really realize they thought that I was going to die. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or whatever and stuff. So because I live, so I'm like confused what the heck the emotion came from. But now I understood after he said that. So I guess I don't know because they never really, I think because I did not pass that I made it, it was a relief. It's just like what to do next, if that makes sense. Like what's the next move? Okay, you know you're gonna be able to walk, like things like that. Things not gonna be the same, but you're here. And I think that that's what they baked it off. Get from over there. Sorry, it's a dog. Mhm.
So was your family like on fight and flight, depending on like if you lived or you passed away?
Oh yeah, they was in kill mode.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I could imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
definitely.
think
Like
most.
definitely, they was in that mode, protection mode for me. Like my mom,
Mhm.
she had me under. How to get this? She had me under. Like like they had to get the okay or a certain code word for them to come through. Like I couldn't even tell people to come through. I remember I had this guy I used to talk to, and I remember I wanted to call you, it was so bad, but he got it. But he wasn't even able to come back to see me. And I was trying to tell my mom, like, man, let him come. This is like whatever. But it was
Mhm.
not time they couldn't because I was in that much of a like protection thing because of what had happened to me.
Yeah, I bet. I think I would say for my immediate family, I think when things have happened in our family, um, we have gotten quiet. Like we're waiting on this storm to come, so everyone's just anticipating. Okay, who's gonna crack first? I think the most traumatic experience I think for me recently was when my aunt passed away,
Hmm.
and usually when people pass away, you have these mixed emotions of your family members. Some are angry, some are grieving, some are in disbelief, in all different stages of grief, right?
Hmm.
So I was on heightened mode, like, okay, what's gonna happen? My mom was like, something about to go down. I don't know what's about to go down. And sure enough, my aunt, she popped off at the mouth, and it was just very disrespectful. And I got beside myself. And here we are at the funeral, and trying to lay my aunt to rest. And she died from a very traumatic experience. She had some mental health issues and was going through a lot. She put herself in front of a train. I will speak about her. But to go through that traumatic experience, and then to go through this process from that moment to burying her, and then having to get into a verbal altercation with my aunt, I was just like, this is crazy. How can family be like this?
Yeah, no, I know exactly. Like, uh, hold on.
It's okay. For those of you watching, we're talking about how traumatic experience, community trauma responses, they respond to traumatic experiences, and we're talking about how we're from a different culture, but there's some similarities in how people respond to trauma. So go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
My son here just, it's been a very rough day for me. I have not had the best day. But anyways,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, that's true. Like with those circumstances, I remember specifically, it's a lady, and I won't call her my auntie no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like all of them, I don't call them my cousins, nothing. I don't claim them at all. Like I got love for them. I wish them nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? But I'm cool. It ended up turning that way. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I hate it because I felt like I didn't understand where the anger came from. Like I understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody have a right to feel how they feel. Because just because they're not blood, because I got some close people I was very close to, and that was my
Mm-hmm.
dog, like that was my people. Like no blood could make us any. So I get it, and it was never dismay, none of that, or any of those things. But honey, it's different coming from a lady that had born them kids. That's a whole two different damn head. I don't care what my sister said, talked about, anything. That's still that child mama. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm still her blood sibling. You know, we're blood siblings. Like, despite anything, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You could never
Mm-hmm.
touch my pain. And it was never a comparison, but it was just like more so I just didn't understand if we still have some type of control or some type of, trying to be like, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand it. Like, then I'm hearing you talk out the side of your mouth, like, you know what I'm saying? And all that and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then people just stop talking and they're like, I'm cool with that too. At first, it used to hurt me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang, how did we get to this point when we're supposed to be family? Like my mom and the lady that I called my auntie, y'all been knowing each other 40 years. Y'all been knowing each other since y'all was 9 to 10 years old. And they go over this
Mhm.
over some dumb stuff. Like, that's the part that hurted me. But now that I'm like more more aware, like at the end of the day, when it come down to it, you have a right to feel how you feel. That's one thing I express. Everybody has the right to feel how they feel because I cannot tell you how to feel. But what I can say, like I just said a few minutes ago, it's a difference between when a woman gave birth to two of them kids and two of them kids is gone. It's the difference when them siblings is the siblings of the, you know what I'm saying, of that. That's a
Mhm.
different pain. So we're all showing that differently. I understand. And I wish people could put
Mhm.
the differences to the side because it was coolness there. I just did what I'm saying. I didn't understand why the other side came so aggressive. Like, honey, we the ones that lost their boo. What's wrong with y'all? Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like it was crazy, but it's like now it's like, I wish y'all the best. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like, it's nothing else I could do. It turns like that. We get into it, we have the fights, we have the arguments, everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was an argument at the funeral, two different ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? We almost got into it. Like, I don't know, but it just, if you think about it, emotions from energy, angry,
Yeah.
sadness, grief, hurt. And imagine that in one place from different people. And then don't let it be the family.
Right.
Like, y'all barely talk to, y'all had a little beef. So that just kind of like, you already know. So, like, that kind of already just added, like, just give me a real reason to pop up and don't let you have no liquor
You
in
know
that
what?
system. Boom, boom.
It's like
So
people throw up
that's what, yeah.
emotions. They throw up
Mhm.
emotions in the most vulnerable places. They throw up a disrespect and and animosity and hatred and betrayal and all these things at the most vulnerable times when someone is hurting. I think that is such a, how can I say this nicely, a shitty move, like real talk. Like, this is a time of mourning and sorrow and understanding and empathy. And some folks will just use this as an opportunity of preying on the weak. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I totally feel you because I was like, I ain't gonna lie. I think the reason why is because I detached myself from them because it hurt me so
Mm,
bad. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That mess hurt me so bad. I'm like, at the end of the day, we family. We're supposed to get through what we go through. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like you had your nose in your, you know what I'm saying? And act like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened, but it's like I'm learning to detach myself from what walks away. You want to walk away, God
Mm,
bless you. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm really learning that for myself because I learned that I had an attachment and an abandonment attachment issue. So I didn't want to let go or lose. And
mm.
especially in that moment, I'm so sorry. Get your butt off my bed. I don't want my dog chewing on my what is that called? My phone cord. She chewed
Oh yeah.
on my phone cord. You know how you got that fast, good charger? Girl, she chewed that up.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. So sorry. But I've learned that you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. And it's just like now, that's what I said, over a couple years. Yes, I was hurt. Yeah, it was very hurtful. Like, we've been family, like, you know what I'm saying, rocking. But I'm like, if this could make this something like this happen, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I experienced different things too. But in that moment, this is the most recent one that I can think of. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
It's like
it
if we
creates
could fall out in that, like, I don't know.
I think even with that, I've seen with this personal experience that I told you about, with my family, it allowed me to
Right.
see who they really were in the most vulnerable time, their true colors. You think you have to accept your family, love on your family no matter what, because they're family.
Hell
And
no.
what I learned was we're only family by blood and not by loyalty or love. So if I could put a boundary in between that, I'm I'm safe that way because I really got beside myself. I'm really calm, cool, and collective. It takes a lot for me to come out of character, a lot. I'll usually have just like a small panic attack because I'm trying to control all my emotions and frustrations. But in this moment, I really lashed out at my blood aunt, and I feel bad about it now. But at the same time, I don't feel bad about seeing her for who she is and creating that boundary, because in our community, our family, she already had built wedges because of her emotion of them against us type, that type feel, So I just learned, as you get older, a lot of people process traumatic experiences differently, and
Yeah.
sometimes boundaries are needed because
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
know
And
how, they don't have the knowledge that we have.
yeah, yeah. And I think just the family dynamics are different, but I think those circumstances have always been there. I think certain things that we go through has already existed. It's just, what is that, multiplied, or it's not multiplied, that's not the word I'm trying to find, but it's just more out there. But I know the unification of family was very different. I don't understand the disconnect as much. I mean, to me, we always have that one or two family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But when it came down to it, we know how to come close in together and stuff. So it's crazy. So that's why it's like I want to make sure like my kids like, and it's like your aunt or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like my niece gonna
Mhm.
always know forever and a day she gonna come to me. Like I don't care what age or anything, and vice versa with my son and his uncles and aunties, like, you know what I'm saying, we not gonna have that. I don't do that with family or nothing like that. Like I seen it, I grew up around some of that ugly BS that they created amongst
Mhm.
family of he say she say thing. But it's our job to break the cycle. Now however, if I know I got to let you be to the left, boo, I'm gonna let you be to the left. You know what I'm saying? You know
And
what I'm saying?
also, I think what's different now in our communities, I'm gonna say in our immediate and our extended communities, which is our local communities, is we always had that big mama or the nana, the nana, that grandmother who kept the family together. Even in the communities, you had that
Mhm.
loving elderly person who was gonna love on you, and if they seen you going through something, they would really love on you. And I think that's what's missing now,
Mhm.
for a lot of us healing hurting communities, is we don't have that safe person to keep us unified, and we don't have the nanas to be like, oh, can I come and talk to you? I used to be able to sit with my grandmother and have coffee with her. She would sneak me a little bit of Folgers coffee, put some creamer and sugar in that thing, and we
Mhm.
would just sit there. How's everything going in school? How's everything with you and your
Mhm.
mom?
Yeah,
And
it's
she was
not
that
that
one
dynamic at
person.
all.
No,
It's
no.
not, and it's not, and down from the grandma figure to the parenting figure. You know what I'm saying and stuff. And what I'm learning in my process of life right now, it's crazy. It's to reparent myself,
Mm,
and it's because of the lack thereof in so certain personal aspects of my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I didn't realize. I'm gonna say this because I know it's kind of getting off talk, but it still ties into what we're talking about. It's the safety,
mhm.
and that's why I have to learn how to feel more safety and secure with myself. Because when you bring the family into it, it's like, really, who got you? You know what I'm saying? I get it that we all, because certain things, even with my family, like I would think certain aspects of me and certain my people, we will be like calling each other, not every day, but you know what I'm saying? Just be more closer than
Mhm.
that, but actually really more distant. It's like we love each other, you know what I'm saying, and everything. But in reality, it's already been there. I see
Yes.
who the person I see clearly now that my brother and sister gone, we was the main ones that kicked it out of all my siblings on this side. We was the ones that hung
Mm,
out the most. You know what I'm saying? Went out,
yeah.
turned up, all that. So now it's like I feel like it's just me. Like,
Mhm.
I hang out whatever with my peoples, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah. So it's like unfortunate. So what I'm learning to get into this, we got to be the example that we see. I mean, that we want to see. Like, you know what I'm saying? So whether we got the auntie uncle that's like that, I just know how to do that. We're gonna have a boundary, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to
Right.
push your ass to the left. So let me
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead, push those behind to the left, because my right hand would knock your ass out. Like, I'm not about to play. I don't, because I know how family can get sometimes with that mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, I do. Because I'll be like, honey, I got one. I said, girl, I am a grown woman now. We not finna go there.
Mhm.
But I would never disrespect you in that
Yeah.
manner. But you got to give me respect though, because I don't come to you with
I
anything
think
less than any. You know what I'm saying? So
I think in that
yeah.
situation, my mom gave my aunt grace because that was her sister, and I gave her grace because she was my aunt. But in this
Hmm.
particular situation, I had to really let her know, like, I lost my aunt, but I also lost you too. Like,
Hmm.
they put my aunt in the ground, and I lost you forever too. So, as of this day, you are not, you're not my family.
Hmm.
On paper, you are.
Yeah.
You know, you're my mom's sister, but that's all you are to me is my mom's sister.
Yeah. And it's
And
so unfortunate, like things like that, but it's life.
you
It
know,
come with it. It's
I
just
have to
life. It come
protect
with
my
it.
peace, sis. I have to protect my peace.
Yeah. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And it's like, because if you don't, who will? Who will? It's gonna keep getting
Yes.
disrespected. You know what I'm saying? So I have to have a boundary. So if me happen to walk away to sustain my peace, that's what I have to do. That's why I said for me, in this, what I go through has nothing to do with nobody. But I know how certain things turns out to make me feel. So I have been
Mhm.
learning to detach myself from the things of when people walk away, because it would affect me. Like, dang, I thought it was homies, I thought it was cool, it was family, whatever, whatever. But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I wish you nothing, I wish you well, because I know where I stand out
Mhm.
with me. And that's the person I
Oh,
want to stand with. So I could detach myself from that. But
yeah.
even if I
Mhm.
happen to walk away from certain things that do not serve you, you don't serve my wellness, you don't serve my growth, you don't serve none of that. I'm not that OG back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That I could have got
Mhm.
through it through what traumaness,
Mhm.
and it's another word, like, you know what I'm saying? Like like, no, I can't.
Dramaness.
Yeah,
Dramaness.
yeah. Like, I'm like, I got a different pair of lenses on, and it's, and
Mhm.
also too, when you have that shift, um, it don't even sit right. Like,
No.
it don't even sit right. Like, you can't even sit right. Like, you can't even play it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have an incident right now, so I know I'm gonna respond to him when I get good and comfy and stuff. So I know I just hold on. I know I got to get all off of here by 9. Girl, I got to do this assessment for this county, but this county
Okay.
assessment. But hold on, but it just came to me. I said, but after I do that, I'm gonna get nice and comfy so I can write what I need to write very specifically to that person,
Mhm.
because it's like people do what you allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? And we all make
Okay.
mistakes and everything, and I understand that. But first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. It ain't gonna be no third, fourth, or fifth. I'm 37 years
I,
old. Well, I ain't got no time to play. And hey, just because we may not be here and we had to let go today, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I don't know. God is great. God is a wonderful God. You'll never know what could happen. But in this moment where I'm at right now, to protect me, I don't know what the future hurt. Maybe we can grow later on. But right now, this is the move I got to make. Maybe I need to make this move right now so we could be greater later. Or maybe I'd make this move right now because it's still the best thing for me to do, whether it's greater later or it don't end up at all. You know? So
that's true. That's true.
yeah.
I definitely with you'll see like how communities flourish even in the midst of a traumatic experience because there is some type of unity. What and that might
Hmm.
even be unity within boundaries, right? We're hurting, we're healing, but I'm gonna love you from over here. I'm gonna support you from over here. We don't have to be so close in this close
Hmm.
network, but I'm gonna let you have your space and your opportunity to heal on your own. And when you're ready, we'll come together. And I've seen that a lot here in San Bernardino as well. Um,
Hmm.
I have a friend of ours who's going with us to CSSJ, and her brother was murdered downtown in San Bernardino. Just like, is that Marcus?
What, in the background?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna put it on mute.
um, and she's not ready to talk. You know, she's not ready to share her experience, and but she wants answers. And I'm telling her, like, at one point, you're going to have to learn how to share your story and share your vulnerability. So her coming with us to Sacramento to start lobbying, I think that's one step for her healing processes.
Mhm.
Being around people who are hurt
I
and
know who you're talking about. I know who you're
who
talking
have
about now.
healed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
She,
I'm
she told me
excited
the
for
same
her.
thing. Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I want her to come out of her shell because I feel she's such. I could tell she's a beautiful person. Like I could tell. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait, honey, because I
Mhm.
said, "Show not finna do her 360, but girl, we finna go get our hair done, go get some clothes, go get snatched, girl, go hit the club one time, dogs." But and it's just like when a person's ready to talk, it's like gonna be them. But exposure to different things, like I said, you
Yes.
never know when that moment may be that one. But just getting yourself exposing to certain things can get the stuff the train going. And whenever
Mhm.
you're ready to get off at that stop and say what you need to say, you will know when the right time. But the best thing is getting yourself around like people that are going through similar
Yes.
things. Like
Yes. And I
that
think that's
going through
why
those similar things. Yeah.
Mar- Marcus always makes it a point to do the Peace in the Street every July. So that way
Yeah.
we have a day of
Ah.
peace. We have a
Mhm.
day of solidarity. We have a day of unity. We have a day
Yeah.
where people can be vulnerable but actually heal in the same space and not be in their community, but be somewhere new.
Right.
Um, Expose ourselves to the beauty of just our surroundings, our nature.
Yeah.
Um, and that's another way our community can definitely respond to traumatic experiences, turning something so ugly into something so beautiful by having a voice, utilizing your voice to make a
Stop
change
it.
in your community, and
Yeah.
being the change. I think that in itself shows strength. But if you show people strength, they'll follow. They'll follow that. You know
Yeah.
what? I see
Yeah.
how you healed,
That
and
I
I
can do.
want to
Like
be
I
part of
can
it.
do it too. Like you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like I can do it too. Like so I can get through it too. And I would say, but that's why, like how it's like we could do the talking all day, but we have to really move and show action. Because
Yes.
for me as a person, I've been a part of different organizations and stuff like that. This was, I would say, like you guys are different to me on a personal note, but like joining the CSSJ too, it's just like it's more action and movement than what I've been a part than calling and communicating and having this. And I've been a part of different things, and I feel like that's it. Like I ain't heard nothing. I don't get nobody calling me or nothing like that. So I would say we could start doing that because me being a person that went through that, it's like, dang. And it's like, not like that. Sometimes I may need you to reach out to me. I'm just talking like the
Hmm.
individual, like if we, what I'm saying, to reach out and show me because I don't understand the process, what I'm going through. Maybe I don't know how to speak. And me and you got all the tools and can understand certain things, but I don't want to say that. We got to take the leadership in that.
Yes,
Like, you
most
know what I'm saying?
definitely.
To advocate and talk to them to help them come forward. Yeah. You know?
I think, like you said, people who have been hurt, putting themselves in situations of advocacy, leadership, community
Mhm.
accountability, it really gives us a sense of power. Like we have the power to be the change within our community. If we want to see less gang shootings and homicides, we have to have that voice. I know for
Yeah.
centuries it's been like I see nothing, I say nothing, then nothing will ever get solved.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
people will die in silence, and it's sad to say that, but a lot of people die in silence.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that code per se, it has a lot of people 8 feet deep right now.
Yep.
Sadly,
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, if I'm
Yep.
supposed to love on my neighbor, love thy neighbor, and I see my neighbor getting hurt or has been hurt, and I witnessed it, why wouldn't I say anything? I'm supposed to love on my neighbor. I'm supposed to know who's breaking in their house. You know,
Mhm.
and it's crazy how silence has killed a lot of
Mhm.
people because they feel they can get away with it. No one ain't gonna say anything.
Right. 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 And so that's stuff like, just reaching out and being, the leader of that, like, or try to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what it comes with. Like, just to want to have somebody just maybe reach out to you. You don't know, especially when it's an organization. I feel like the organization
Mhm.
should reach out to its members,
So I wanted to
or
go
have
over.
someone that. hmm
I wanted to go over some common reactions to trauma.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe,
I can hear you. I'm just going to stand
okay,
up real quick. Go
maybe
ahead.
you've been through it, but certainly these have affected a lot of us. I'm trying to. So the first common reaction to trauma is the re-experiencing the trauma. Trauma survivors may re-experience their trauma through thoughts, feelings, memories, and other means. Re-experiencing a trauma can be distressing and may trigger uncomfortable emotions such as fear, anger, and sadness. Most times when you're re-experiencing traumatic experiences, you'll have nightmares, flashbacks, distressing thoughts and feelings about the trauma, emotional distress or physical responses after experiencing a trauma reminder. Um, so that could be your body shutting down, headaches. Your body tells you a lot as far as, you might have, stomach aches, you might have panic attacks, you might have headaches, you might have where you don't want to eat, lack of appetite. So when you're re-experiencing these traumatic experiences, you really have to pay attention to your body, and listen, and find out some good, healthy coping skills for that. The next common reaction is avoidance. We do this very well. Our communities do this very well. Of trauma reminders. So, because of reminders of trauma can be so distressing, it is common for trauma survivors to use avoidance to control their reactions. So, we use drugs and alcohol to suppress uncomfortable thoughts and emotions. I think me and Jasmine talked about that earlier, or Jasmine was mentioning about her family. Avoidance of activities related to the trauma. Um, when my aunt passed away, I didn't even want to go over the railroad tracks because that was like, it was just a constant reminder. I felt like I was reliving the experience, so I was like, I'll go all the way around. I don't want to go over the railroad tracks. But then eventually I was like, okay, let me go over the railroad tracks, but I'm not going to look in that destination because that's where she passed. So I really tried my hardest to avoid those traumatic reminders. Another one is avoidance of people, places, things related to the trauma, suppressing thoughts related to the trauma, avoidance of conversations of the trauma. Believe it or not, when I'm going to bring up my aunt again, when she was going through mental health and she did commit suicide, some of my family was like, we're not going to talk about this. This is embarrassing. This is an embarrassment to talk about suicide. And me coming from trauma informed services and working in the community and doing what we do, I'm like, how is this embarrassing? Everybody goes through this. Everybody has thoughts. Not
No, yeah,
everybody
they
does.
do, but they view it as a weakness because they override their emotions with they override the mental health with other stuff. But that's why it comes out in the bullshit that they do, the anger, the drama,
Hmm.
the drinking, and all that. That's where that part comes out at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't give themselves full acknowledgement of what has occurred and stuff. I don't know if you read the chat. You read the chat.
Let me see the chat. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay.
I have a few more common reactions. The third reaction is negative thoughts or feelings. Negative thoughts and feelings may begin to worsen after experiencing trauma. Some of these thoughts and feelings might not seem to relate directly to the trauma. Excessive blame toward oneself and others related to the trauma, loss of interest in activities, feelings of isolation and disconnection from surroundings, difficulty experiencing positive feelings, a loss of memory related to the trauma, and excessive negative thoughts about oneself or the world. Um, During that experience with my aunt, um, we did a lot of this. We did a lot of blame. We did a lot of why didn't we just connect? Why didn't we just help her? Why didn't she just tell us? And the anger came from we felt helpless in that situation. So some of you guys might have been through this situation where you've been through a traumatic experience and felt helpless and blamed others and or even blamed yourself. If only I could have did something. If only I would have had stopped them. Or if only. So we tend to let these negative thoughts take over our emotions and feelings, and sometimes we lash out on people. I think during this situation, I think that's probably the situation that happened between me and my aunt. She had some feelings towards me, which like Jasmine said, she's entitled to her own emotions, but she lashed out, and me being in my emotions as well, it wasn't a good situation. So um we had difficulty experiencing positive feelings. How do you feel positive about something that happened and it was so traumatic? There was no positive in the situation, and a lot of us feel that way when we lose someone or we've been harmed. We're not worried about like, oh, there's a learning experience from this. We're not thinking that. We're thinking of I've been harmed or someone harmed our family member or this is how I feel. And so yeah, excessive negative thoughts about oneself or the world, most definitely. I think when we've all been through an experience, we lash out even in our community, even at people who want to say, oh, how are you doing today? How do you think I'm doing? You know, or some people don't even know how to ask you. I know when I went back to work and my coworkers knew, they were kind of like, okay, let's avoid her because we don't want to ask her because this is a topic that we don't even know how to talk about. And maybe they thought, how do we ask her how she's doing? We kind of know how she's doing because she's sitting in her cubicle crying. So, and the last common reaction to trauma is hyperarousal. I think Jasmine talked about this earlier. Reacting or a feeling of being on edge may begin to worsen after experience of trauma. This category includes a broad range of physical and psychological symptoms, such as becoming irritable, quick to anger, or aggressive. Absolutely. She mentioned her family was hyper aroused, right? Definitely I was on I was on go mode. Like my parents put it to you this way. They grabbed me because they didn't know what I was gonna do, and that wasn't even like me. I was so in hyper arousal, and I literally lashed out. So I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
The next one is heightened startled reaction, difficulty concentrating, frequently scanning the environment or watching the trauma reminders. Did you have any of that?
You said trauma reminders?
Yeah, did you have like where you were looking over your shoulder? I mean, because you didn't know who ran you over. Were you a hyper arousal mode? Like if you were like crossing a street or coming out somewhere, were you paranoid type?
No, I'm still that way. Not as
Mm,
frequent, but I'm still that way. I don't like cars.
mm,
I hate hearing the skeeting of cars, like, what I'm saying? Because I remember hearing that and stuff. Yeah, I'm still very, and I'm more, to be honest with you, I'll be more, sorry, I'll be more like that with my own child because I'll be scared, like, for him.
yes. Another symptom is difficulty sleeping, feelings of anxiety, and related symptoms such as racing heart, upset stomach, headache. I talked about that earlier, and risking or impulsive behaviors. A lot of people don't understand when you've been through a traumatic experience and you're doing things that you normally wouldn't do, drugs, alcohol, drinking and driving, reacting quick to anger. Like for me to react quick to anger, that was not even me. Like, whoa. So it kind of startled me to be that on hyper arousal, and that I could lash out like that. So it took me back to like, okay, I can never let someone have that control over me again like that. They can't control my anger, even in that situation. So these common reactions are normal. They're normal for anyone experiencing traumatic experiences. Our community, we'll see it quite often, how people react to anger and they go back and retaliate, or they'll start a riot in San Bernardino, or you know the killings don't stop because no one's speaking about the emotional part of the traumatic experience. So um, I hope from this podcast tonight, the audience understands that what you're feeling and how you're feeling, you're entitled to feel. And you got to learn and find your path to process. If that's joining a movement for survivors of crime, if that's going to church, if that's journaling, reading your Bible, going to church, being around positive people, doing something in your community. There's a lady in our community. She picks up trash every Saturday. She used to just walk around and pick it up with her little picker and a little trash bag. Then she started walking around with a trash can on wheels. And then she started riding a bike. So it was like, it was her way of doing her due diligence in her community. And for whatever reason, that was therapeutic to her, because she did it on a regular basis. Every Saturday you see her outside. So find what works for you, because I guarantee you, you're not alone, right? You might cry all the time. That's
No,
normal.
I thought my stuff was on mute. If y'all heard me yelling,
No, it was on
okay,
mute.
good. It was on mute. Okay, because I seen it come off mute, and I was like, "Oh, I know
We
I didn't touch it
understand you're a
outside the living
mama.
room."
We
Yeah, girl,
understand
and
you're a mama.
him and this dog, they both irritated, both of them. But
I
no,
got them crying outside the door.
yeah, I'm just, but
Hmm.
yeah, no, yeah, I think that you hit the hammer on the mark with everything that you were saying and stuff. And it's just like, it's okay to feel those emotions. And I think that's the thing, like, it's avoiding the emotion. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to avoid it. Who
Hmm.
wants to feel pain? But it's like,
Hmm.
what I've learned is you got to feel it when you're ready, but also don't hinder yourself too long, because
Hmm.
you turn into somebody different. But sometimes certain circumstances, you have to go through those things. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But I hope you catch yourself at some point, and that's where it's like, pray, find it, do some chill one day, change up the routine about it. I don't know, like only you know and can relate
Hmm.
to what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? To try to find a different way of the approach, because emotions is a deep feeling, and your body holds the feelings. The feelings are the emotions of your body. So when you said something about like the body, like you have trapped emotions. So when certain things happen, and it could be 10 years ago, and you feel that same feeling, that's stuck energy that you have not released.
Hmm.
So me personally, I have a lot of that in my body. And like my
Hmm.
physiology, I be like this and don't know it. Mommy. And stuff. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Because of trauma, of anxiety, of stress. And I didn't
Hmm.
realize it until this therapist, when I was pregnant with my son. She was like, I could just see how tense. And then after that, I started realizing that and not knowing, just like do this, like take a deep breath and then see how your shoulders fall down.
Hmm.
Like you don't even know that you're up, because we've been in survival mode for so long.
Yes.
And, and,
Yes.
and that fight and flight for so long that our bodies became like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not our fault. It's our body responding to our feelings. I mean, responding to our emotions to what happened, to what we store. And that's one thing. That's why I feel like it's harder for me to shake certain things, because I got to release it out my body. I got to
Mm.
release it from my body. So once everybody do what they want to do, but I like Reiki, like energy, like releases, like just releasing it from the heart, releasing it from the stomach, releasing it from your mind,
Mm.
just releasing it, pulling that from you. Because I mean, even just like exercise and do something, go sit,
Yeah.
meditate, and remove all that energy from you, from where you're feeling it. Hold your hand. Sometimes you got to just sit there and just cry, release that shit out of you. Because if not, you could tell what I'm saying. Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, Makai. If you heard him. He be
He
monitoring my
corrected
mouth.
you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Good job, Makai.
so yeah. So get up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's like, who's that? But
Hi, Makai.
but I forgot I was on the road too. But like, we have to really get that out, because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you think. I mean, how you can read 1,000 self-help books, don't get me wrong, and those things can't work. I'm not saying that it does not,
Mm-hmm.
but your mind, your body, and your spirit all works together. So if one's off, it's nothing's right. You're gonna be a little okay, but as soon as something happens, what's the first reaction you
Mm-hmm.
get? Your body reacts first.
Oh yeah, the other day when
You
I had
got it.
my
You know
panic
what I'm
attack.
saying? You gotta release it, like, like when something come up or come around and that shit piss me off, or I'm hurt, or I'm crying and stuff. It affects your body. And then it's
Yeah.
like, yes, I could talk to myself and, like, say, for instance, you know how you could be like, I'm powerful, I'm strong. No, say those positive affirmations. But sometimes when you don't feel it, because of that stuck energy from when you said you couldn't, when you said you wasn't worth it or wasn't enough, that is
Mm-hmm.
still in there. So when you're
Yeah.
saying I am strong, but your body may be feeling like I really don't feel that way, but because now you're gonna have to recondition your body. Now you got to
Mm.
tell your body that, and it's something that I'm learning along my healing journey. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And stuff, and how it all works together. So I have a lot of stuck energy. And it's a thing called somatic healing. And I really cannot wait to do that. So it's basically, to me, it's like a form of stretching, but they're stretching different things. It's supposed to hit like open your hips, open stuff, but it releases emotions. Remove yourself. But you
Oh.
know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I want to do that. There's another thing called
Yeah.
I could be saying it wrong. It's called EDMR. It's eye rapid movement, something like that.
Mm.
Girl, he get on my nerves, child. I told you go. But yeah,
Breathe.
so basically they pay attention like to your eye movement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're helping you walk back through trauma so it can release. Because I always say I feel like I have different areas where it's stuck.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So it's like different things that you can find, because you know what I'm saying? But like exercising is good too. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? Your
I
mind,
miss
body,
the
and
gym.
spirit, your mind, body, and spirit works together, because I could release it doing that too. It was times, especially like when I would work out at my job and stuff, and it was like it's a certain playlist I play. Girl, I have so many crying sessions up in there because it was so therapeutic. But the music I'm listening to, the body movements I am, it was like my solitude for myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
releasing as well. So there's
Yeah.
all different forms. People pick what's good for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's different ways of healing, it's different ways of going, and what's healing for you. Remember, it may not be for everybody else, or what everybody else do may not be for you. But the thing is, healing is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we could just find out what those traumatic, pay attention to your traumatic responses. And the time is
Yes.
now. If you could pay attention to how you respond. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like me,
Definitely.
for instance, I get angry, or I will get very sad, and I'll start to go into a depression. It depends on how
Mm.
the trauma comes. It's not intentionally, it was by habit. Old habits die hard,
Mm-hmm.
because of the lack of control I had over the situation.
Yes.
So when now I can kind of release, I don't have no control. I don't have control of what's outside of myself.
I think especially when
You know.
someone's done you wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and and it goes back to parenting, like how you talked about, like going back to reparenting yourself is acknowledging and knowing all the words attached to an emotion, because we simplified emotions to sad, happy, mad, and what, glad. But there's so many
Yeah.
more emotions that we don't
Mm-hmm.
teach our,
Stop.
teach our kids, and we weren't taught frustrated, irritated, irritable, um, joy, empathetic, sympathetic. Like there's so many different emotions. I think Marcus is gonna talk, that we weren't explained, you know? And I think that's really like, I have to tell my son, if you're frustrated, tell me why you're frustrated. If you're irritated, let me know what's irritating you.
Yeah,
Because you're not just
express
mad,
it.
you're
Like
not just
express
mad.
it. Not just say that I'm just
Yeah,
mad because of this.
yeah.
Express like what is the dominant, maybe because I wanted to do this and I couldn't do it. Not because such and such did this. Express it. And that's something I have to ask my son. Like, say why? Why are you feeling this way? And we're like, because I'm angry. Okay, it's okay to be angry. That's fine to be angry.
Mhm.
But what we do with the anger, that's different. We ain't gonna get it right 100% of the time. I get that. But we got to be able to learn how to control that. Because you know what I'm saying? It takes 2 seconds to mess up your whole life. And if I want you to get it now, and I want you to be able to not just acknowledge it with me, but acknowledge it with yourself. So that
Ooh,
way you can catch you. You know what I'm saying? Because my son gonna be spiffy, and I never want him to break a person down because of that anger. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Or just go off or do something. You know what I'm saying? There's ways of going about it. Even myself, that's what I'm saying. I'm learning to read. Like remember, I've been on my journey with self, and I'm just finding so many different things, and I'm really finding my niche now. Like with this whole journey, you know what I'm saying? But it when it boils down to it, it begins and ends with you. So for you to learn yourself for yourself. Because at the end of the day, what we say before, remember who got powers you controls you. And nobody should have more
Mhm.
power over you than yourself. But it's okay. We are human. I will not be right if I tell you that ain't nobody not gonna piss you off because they is. That's life. We
So
still human, baby.
with saying
It's a
that,
I always say, honey, I'm a work in progress.
so
Now I may not have been that day, but it's you know what I'm saying. But it's something I'm actively working on to not allow it to bother me any
I
longer.
think people misread all the time, even when we've processed our traumatic experience or we're going through our traumatic experiences. They they don't acknowledge, or it looks different. It looks like anger when it's really fear. Fear is something that most people don't talk about, and it's real. The fear of losing Jasmine, the fear of going through this all over and learning how you said to walk and talk. So some words that are associated to fear are afraid, anxious, dread, frightened,
Yeah,
horrified,
yeah,
nervous,
yeah,
petrified, scared, terrified, and worried. So these are words we can actually teach our kids at a very young
yeah.
age.
So
When they say,
yeah,
I'm
so you can be
scared,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn some more of that. Like I know those, but to get some more of that insight from me because I want him to be quiet. I want him to be able to identify that, not even just him myself, so I can lead by example too, like in my own life, and show him,
Hmm.
like you know what I'm saying, in different aspects, and others behind me and before me. You know what I'm saying? That we
Hmm.
can work about it, go about it differently. But I think more so for myself because I think the uncomfortable is uncomfortable.
Mm.
The uncomfortable is on the uncomfortable. You don't like, hold on. I told you to be quiet. You don't like to have the fear. Like me, I have stuff. No, ain't nobody at the door. You have some, I'm so sorry.
It's
I have
okay.
an issue. You sit downstairs. I have an issue with control. Not like, hey, I want to control what you're doing, whatever. It's controlling outcomes or controlling situations. I'm working
Mhm.
through that because it's not never intentional. I'll be trying to prevent, trying to prevent yourself from being hurt, prevent yourself. So if I could do
Mm-hmm.
this and I won't be hurt, or if I act like I don't care, I won't be hurt. But in reality, I'm still doing damage, hurting myself instead of just, and I just told this to I just told this to a couple of people on my job today. I said, what it is, it's hard really to let go and trust God. And it's not that we don't want to. It's just the humanness in us because the uncomfortableness and especially of the unknown. And we want to
And
see
I'm laughing
results.
what you said about that right
Mhm.
now,
Mhm.
about the control, because I'm laughing when you keep saying sorry and you're putting yourself on mute. You're trying to control a 5-year-old boy to be quiet.
Yeah.
Every
He's
mama
still not.
around this world knows you can keep him quiet for a few minutes,
That's not even
and then
that because he's
mom,
back at it right
mom.
now.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Real quick, some words for some emotions for sadness, depressed, disappointed, down, embarrassed, grief, hopeless, lonely, regret, shame, emotion, emotions, happiness, cheerful, content, elated,
Can you send me all that, please?
yes, glad, joyful, pleased, pride, relieved, satisfied. I mean, I can't say, oh yeah, instead of saying I'm happy, oh, I'm satisfied. People are like, what does that mean? It means happiness. I'm not happy or sad, or I'm content. I'm good. I'm good right
Hmm.
now. And then one more, some words, some emotions for anger are annoyed, appalled, contempt, enraged, frustrated, hate, irritated, mad, offended, and upset. So these are great basic emotions attached to these words that we can use in everyday terminology to explain how we feel.
Yes.
And this is what should be being taught in our school system, in our communities. I'm outraged. I'm not mad. I'm outraged about this
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And then behind those words, they got to be comfortable with saying that. So I'm gonna leave it there because it looked like a form of weakness, or they should be tough and get through it. So we could put a
Mm-hmm,
nip there because we could continue this because that goes deeper beyond. You know what I'm saying? Because we
mm-hmm.
there, see, we there. You know what I'm saying? But just how we was
Oh
like the
yeah.
other family was like looking at that, I said it's because y'all not understanding. And it's like where who that's why I'm breaking out of societal norms of what society freaking expect from me. Boo boo, this is Jasmine life. This how I feel. It don't make me feel less than because I'm feeling this way. And the norm of this, it will cause you to make you feel that way. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, cheer cow or just feeling like this, or because they can't handle that, they're not strong enough. No, honey, it's called life, and this is what I'm going through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You
So,
know
and I
what's
want people to
crazy is
understand that.
culturally, not to interrupt you, but culturally, we've seen that a lot of it within women in your culture, and people have shunned upon it and said, "Oh, she's an angry black man, a black woman, or he's an angry
Mhm.
black man." And it's like, no, we're using these words to express how we feel because we're
Yeah, yeah.
entitled to feel these things, and you're
Yeah,
gonna hear
honey,
it.
I'm pissed off. I'm like, girl, when I look around at this goddamn earth around here, honey, you done got my folks around here to build this stuff, sister. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Don't let me go there, girl, because I'll be a whole different thing. Like, honey, so yes, I'm gonna be angry today. Like,
Mhm.
my aggression may not look like your white collarness. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Right.
still aggression. You know what I'm saying? And you writing out check, put people on hush mode. That's still you know what I'm saying? But we can go on
Mhm.
and on about that. But I think tonight's episode was super great.
Connecting. Yes, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
Next
Yes.
time we'll talk about how gender roles play into this as well, because
Yes.
uh, those four
Ye-
basic emotions, they're expressed, just we don't see it. We see it always as anger when it comes
Yes.
to our partner, and because we're not there, we're also not using those words in in our communication skills in our relationship. So we'll talk about
Yeah.
that more. But I want to
Okay.
tell everybody good night. Peace be with you. May you sleep in peace, protect your peace, enjoy tomorrow when you open your eyes tomorrow, you guys, in our communities. It might be ugly, but find beauty in everything. So that's all I gotta say. Love you guys. Jasmine.
Yep. I just remember always bet on yourself. And healing is for everyone. So make sure you work on that healing for you and whatever that healing may looks like. Take care.
Wait, your
All right.
proverb.
Oh
Your
yes,
proverb.
my African. Okay, my favorite African proverb is when you defeat the enemy within yourself, the enemy outside cannot harm you.
Yes, amen. All
Yeah.
right, y'all.
Mommy,
Peace.
Okay.
Mommy.
Peace. Send me that.
I will. I will.
Okay. All right. Bye.
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 Mommy,
I think we're still live. Do I leave? Let me see here. Good night, y'all.